Hi, this is Angela, and welcome to A Cat Among Books. Today we will be starting my bookshelf tour, and this is part 1. On the first shelf, this is going to be young adult series books. We have Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. And I'm not going to pull out all these because that would take forever. We have the Lux series. Unfortunately, when I bought Opposition, I didn't realize it was the 5th book. So I'm missing books 3 and 4. We have Lux Beginnings by Jennifer Armentrout. We have the Grisha series by Leigh Bardugo. And if I'm butchering these last names, well, I apologize in advance to the authors. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising. We have Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendra Blake. Now, these series, a lot of them I haven't read yet. I blind bought them, but that way when I do read them, I can just read them straight through. We have the Darkest Minds trilogy. Currently awaiting my pre-order of Into the Light by Alexandra Bracken. We have The Darkest Minds, Never Fade, Into the Afterlight. We have the Eve trilogy by Anna Carey. I have this first book signed. I met her last week at the Schuler's Epic Reads event, and she signed my book. Also, there's Once and Rise. We have the Selection series here. The 3rd book is currently being loaned out. And this series is by Kiera Cass, and I did get all my books signed by her, except for this one, because this one came out after I met her. Selection Elite, The Elite, and The One. She also currently will be having a new book continuation, book 4, The Air, coming out, I think, in May of next year. And another book of short stories, so I'm looking forward to that. On the second shelf, we have Cassandra Clare's Infernal Devices series, Clockwork Angel. I have 2 copies of Clockwork Prince because they are 2 different special editions. The first one is from Walmart, which includes Tessa and Jem's first meeting. And Clockwork Prince from Barnes & Noble, which has exclusive content. A love letter Will inscribes for Tessa. And if you want to know that noise, that was Quinn. She is the reason that I came up with the name A Cat Among Books. And any noises you hear in this room, because this is technically her room along with my book room. So, okay. We have Clockwork Princess. We have the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare also. City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Lost Souls. City of Heavenly Fire is currently loaned out right now. I have the special Shadowhunters Codex book. And this is the one that has the gold lettering. Paid a bit for that one. Oh, but it was worth it. I haven't read it yet, but I will. Suzanne Collins' The Hunger Games. A coworker from my old job had got me into this series. I blind bought it, and I absolutely loved it. This book was my first foray into the world of dystopia. So, onto the next shelf, we have by Andrea Kramer, the Nightshade series. I've only read the first book. It was good, but not great. That's why I put off reading the rest of the series. But I'll get to them eventually one day. The Maze Runner trilogy by James Dashner. The Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, The Death Cure. Oh, I'm sorry. And for Andrea Kramer, Nightshade, Wolfsbane, and Bloodrose. Now, back to James Dashner. The Scorched Trials, The Death Cure, The Kill Order, and his new series, The Eye of Minds and The Rule of Thoughts, which I have not read yet. I really enjoyed The Maze Runner. Now, on to Lauren DeStefano's Chemical Garden trilogy, which is also a good trilogy that I really enjoyed. We have Wither, Fever, and Sever. Her new series, which I have not read yet, is Perfect Ruin. And we have Amy Ewing's, I don't know if that's how you pronounce her name, The Jewel, which I did get to meet her also when I met Anna Carey at Schuler's, and she did have it signed. Let's see. There we go. Pretty cool. I haven't read the inscriptions yet, but I'm just waiting. So, on the fourth shelf, we have the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. Hush Hush, Crescendo, Silence, and Finale. A good trilogy. The third and fourth book were starting to wane in the series. We have Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl. Beautiful Creatures, Beautiful Darkness, Beautiful, I'm sorry, the camera's going to shake so I can sit down. Beautiful Chaos, and currently, which isn't here, is Beautiful Redemption, and the sequel spin-off series, Dangerous Creatures, which I have not read yet. We have one of my top 3 favorite series is Gone series by Michael Grant, and I whipped through these books in a month, and there's 6 books, and these are hefty books. They're like 500 pages, some of these, and I got through them so fast. Okay, on to his new series by Michael Grant, Messenger of Fear, have not read. Dearly Departed by Leah Habel. I really loved the first book, haven't gotten to the second one yet, which is Dearly Beloved. We have by Cynthia Hand, Unearthly, Hallowed, and Boundless, which I haven't read. By Jeff Hart, we have Eat, Brains, Love, and Undead with Benefits, a zombie duology, or it could be a trilogy, I'm not sure yet. We have by Charlie Higson, The Enemy series, The Enemy, The Dead, The Fear, The Sacrifice, and The Fallen, which I have not read. And a trilogy by Michelle Hodkin, the Mara Dyer trilogy, which I haven't read, but I'm going to get to because it sounds very interesting. We have another of my top 3, which I'm just going to say right now is the Tiger's Curse series, the Mortal Instruments series, and the Gone series. So we have Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck, Tiger's Quest, and Tiger's Voyage, Tiger's Destiny, and we have the first 3 in paperback because the first 3 hardcovers are signed by her. And we have the little novella that I recently purchased called Tiger's Promise, which is from, I can't pronounce her name, Iwashabi, I'm sorry, but this is her take and everything, and I think, oh, that would be kind of nice to read. Okay, moving on to Julie Kagwa in the Iron Fae series. We have the Iron King, the Iron Daughter, the Iron Queen, the Iron Knight, and Iron Legends, which is a book of short stories that take place at various times throughout the series. We have her spin-off series, which is, or it could be a spin-off trilogy, I'm not sure, The Call of the Forgotten. We have Lost Prince and Iron Trader. I have not read Iron Trader yet. I'm looking forward to the 3rd and final book in the series, I believe. We have her new series, which I haven't read. It's Immortal Rules, Eternity Cure, and The Forever Song. I just pre-ordered Talon about dragons, so I'm looking forward to that. Ouch. Thank you, Gwen. That was so nice of you. So, moving on to the next bookshelf in my YA Books in a Series, we have Alienated by Melissa Landers. We have Monument 14 trilogy by Emmy Laybourne. We have Monument 14, Sky on Fire, and Savage Drift. We have Marie Lu's The Legend trilogy, Legend, Prodigy, and Champion. We have Sarah Maas's Throne of Glass series. The Assassin's Blade, which is a bind up of a bunch of short stories. We have Throne of Glass, which is signed by her. Oopsie, that was a bookmark that fell. Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire. We have Jonathan Maberry, Rotten Ruin series, Dust and Decay, Flesh and Bone, and Fire and Ash. Moving on to Tahereh Mafi's Shatter Me series, we have Shatter Me, Unravel, Ignite Me. And we have Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy series, which I haven't read yet. I also have not read the Shatter Me series, Throne of Glass, or Rotten Ruin, or The Legend. There's just so many that I haven't read yet, but I'm looking forward to reading them. Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Spirit Bound, Blood Promise, Last Sacrifice, and her spin-off series, the Bloodlines series, the Bloodlines, the Golden Lily, the Indigo Spell, the Fiery Heart, and the Silver Shadows. And I know that the Ruby Circle comes out next February, so I'll have to look forward to getting that. Moving down to Melissa Myers' Cinder series, or Lunar Chronicles series, Cinder, Scarlet, and Cress. We have Stephanie Meyer's The Twilight series and the graphic novel. We have Patrick Ness's Chaos Walking trilogy, The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and the Monsters of Men. We have Elizabeth Norris's Unraveling and Unbreakable, and I did get those books signed by her when I met her. Also when I met Kiera Cass. Moving on to the next shelf, we have Lauren Oliver's Delirium trilogy, Delirium, Pandemonium, Requiem, Die for Me, Until I Die, If I Should Die, and her new book, After the End. We have Beth Revis's Across the Universe, A Million Suns, Shades of Earth, which I'm not happy with the cover change. They should have just kept it as it was, because it just looks really out of place. We have her new book, The Body Electric, and I special ordered this from Powell's bookstore online, because it has a lot of really cool, I guess if you want to call it swag, and call it swag. A lot of really cool stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And there's Quinn. Put that back. Another favorite trilogy that I like, I haven't read the third one yet because I kind of forgot what happened in the second one, is the Black City trilogy by Elizabeth Richards. Also, there's Phoenix and Wings. I also would like to give a shout out to Jessie the Reader, another booktuber, for introducing me to Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Ouch. Let go. So we have that. We have Hollow City and the graphic novel. Okay, moving on to the next. I'm sorry. She's just really, yeah. She wants attention, obviously. Anyway, moving on to the next book is by Marie Rutkowski, The Winner's Curse, which looks like a really good book. Victoria Schwab's The Archived and Unbound, which I believe Jessie the Reader is a big fan of her books. We have Veronica Roth's Divergent series, and honestly, I enjoyed and I got through Allegiant faster than I did Insurgent. We also have the bind up of 4 short stories. Oh no, the sticker. Yep, we got those. we have Asylum and Sanctum, which I haven't read, which were both signed by the author who I met last week. We have Maggie Stiefvater's The Mercy Falls series, Shiver, Linger, and Forever, which is also a really favorite series that I really enjoyed, a trilogy. We have by Laini Taylor, the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. We have by Lex Thomas, The Quarantine. Well, I hear there's going to be more in the series, so I'll just call it a series. Quarantine, The Loners, The Saints, and The Burnouts. We have by Amy Tintera, The Reboot duology with Rebel, and that was also signed. We have by Dan Wells, Fragments, Partials, and Ruins, The Fifth Wave, and The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. Well, that concludes my Books in a Series YA bookshelf tour, so keep watching because I will be posting my YA contemporary bookshelf tour next.